What's up, guys? This is 6X player here, doing a deck profile from Aqua Force. I wanted to do a deck profile before set 9 came in, so let's get started. Starting Vanguard is Officer Cadet Eric. His effect is Aqua Force rides him, call him to the rear guard, and I can counterblast 1 to put him on the soul. Look at the top 5 for a grade 3 Aqua Force to add to your hand. Having more grade 3s in your hand is really good, so he works really well in the deck. Let's get on the grade 3s. I run 7 grade 3s. I run 3 Blue Storm Dragon Maelstorms. His effect is when he's 4th attack or more, he gets plus 5,000 as his limit break. He's at 16 by himself. And after the attack hits a Vanguard, I can counterblast 1 to retire 1 rear guard my opponent has and draw a card. That's a pretty good effect, so your opponent has to block him. On the backup Vanguard, I run 2 Hydro Hurricane Dragons. Hurricane Dragon is okay. His effect is counterblast 2 until the end of the turn. He gets plus 3,000. And on the 4th attack or more, when he attacks and he hits the Vanguard, he retire all of your opponent's rear guards. So they have to block him also. So you have 2 good Vanguards, which your opponent has to block, so you don't need critical triggers. Not right now. And his other effect is when he attacks a Vanguard, he gets plus 3,000. So if he uses limit break, he'd be at 16 by himself when he attacks a Vanguard. So pretty good to back up. Next on, I run 2 Diamantes. Diamantes is the card that lets you do the 4th attack with this deck. His effect is when he's the 1st attacker, he gets plus 2,000. And after the attack, he has to attack the Vanguard. So he's at 11k when he attacks first. After the attack, you can switch him up with the rear guard right behind him. So when he would attack, this is the rear guard. So when he attack, he gets plus 2. And after the attack does not have to hit. You can switch it up with your rear guard right behind, and then he gets to attack. So it's really good. It gets you many attacks in the turn. And onto the grade 2s, I run 2 Storm Rider Basils. Basil is the same thing as Diamantes, but he gets plus 2,000 when he attacks first. So he's at 10k, so he's good against 10k Vanguards, and he's good against 11k Vanguards to hit them. I run 3 Basils. Next on, I run 2 Tin-Eyed Valerias. Valeria's effect is when she's the 4th attack or more, and when she hits a Vanguard, you can retire 1 rear guard your opponent has. So your opponent will block him. I mean, you run a lot of stand triggers into the deck, so it is possible to attack with her. Next one, I run 2 more. 2 August. August is the same thing as Valeria. Instead of retiring a rear guard, he lets you draw a card when the attack hits the 4th or more. And for the last grade 2s, I run 4 Vanilla 10Ks. Lazarus, they're pretty good in this deck, especially with stand triggers. Attacks for 15 with a stand, and 10Ks in this deck are really good because after Basil or Diamantes attacks, when they attack, you just switch them with these guys and they attack, so it's really good. Onto the grade 1s, I run 4 Vanilla AK. They're good. I think every deck should run them because to hit cross rides, you only need a 10k in the front, and they're really good against cross rides, so you should run them to 18. So then a 10 shield. Next one, I run 4 Tin-Eyed Kypris. Kypris is a good card in this deck, especially when you don't really use that many counterblast in this deck. The only counterblast you need is for your starter and for Hydro Hurricane Dragon. So you can beef him up to 9k and 8k. Counterblast 1, he gets plus 1,000. So he's pretty good in this deck. On to the next, I run 3 Perfect Shields. Emerald Shield Parcel. I don't need 4 because you attack a lot and your opponent does waste a lot of shield. So they won't have a big of an attack next turn. And I've tested 3 out in tournaments and it's working amazing. So I don't really need 4 right now. I run 3 of the 10k boosters. Battle Siren Dorothea. Her effect is when she boosts a Vanguard, she gets plus 4,000 when the attack is 3rd or more. So it's pretty good. Well, so Maelstrom's limit break, he'd be at 16. With this, it would be a total 26 column for a Vanguard. And then that's always a good number to hit, so it's really hard to block. So, and many times I've seen people not block Maelstrom. And if you're a good player, you should always block him, because he does give you a lot of plus. And Hydro Hurricane just retires all of your opponent's rear guards, so definitely you need to block the Vanguard when you play against Aqua Force. And for the last grade 1, I run 1 Battle Storm Rider Eugene. Eugene is the same thing as Bazo and Diamantes. He when he's the first attacker, he gets plus 2,000. And then you can switch it up with your rear guard. I run 1 of him because he is flexible. The deck, he can be a good booster, and he can always give me that 4th attack I need. Even though attack does not hit, he still lets me do Maelstrom's limit break, so I run 1 of him. And it's working pretty good. If you guys don't like running him, you can run the 4th Perfect Shield. But it works fine right now. On to the trigger lineup, I run 4 draw triggers. 4 works fine with this deck. We don't have any more, but I won't run any more than 4. So on to the next. I run 4 stand triggers, 8 stand triggers. 8 stand triggers because I don't see the need for crit triggers in this deck. They don't, because you are attacking for a lot and they do have to block. I understand why would you run crit triggers, but your Vanguard does attack for a lot, so they do have to block him. So it's not like they won't block your Vanguard if you don't run crits. Yeah, 8 crits is working amazingly in tournaments. And for the last trigger lineup, I run 4 heals. I don't see why won't you run 4 heals in every deck. Let me show you the perfect setup for this deck. I did play in the tournament last week. I topped 2 at my locals. First round, I played Pale Moon. 2-0 that guy. It was fun. Round 2, I played Norakami, which is a bad matchup for this deck, because in this deck, you need to set up your field. And if you can't set up your field, you're pretty much at a disadvantage. Let's see, yeah. Diamantes, Maelstrom. Yeah, so I played against Norakami. He Vermilion me. But I still managed to get back my field and still won 2-0. Next round, 3rd round, I played against Kagero. And Kagero has a huge advantage against this deck because they do retire more rear guards than Norakami right now. He was retiring my Diamantes and my Basil, so I couldn't do the 4th attack. But I still managed to win because I would always have extras on the field. And I 2-0'd him. And when I went to round 4, I was guaranteed top 4 either way because I have 6-0 in the tournament as my record. So in top 4, I did really bad. I played against Pelennor, Gold Paladins. First game, I just drew all triggers. And it was kind of annoying. And she Pellennored me. So game 2, I couldn't set up my field. And if you can't set up your field in this deck, you pretty much lose. So I made top 4. And in top 4, we all decided to split for store credit. I was facing my friend who was using Great Natures. Later on in the day, he said he wanted to see who would win if we played in top 4. So we played each other seriously, and I beat him 2-1. His deck is pretty good, but I set up my field, and they have to do pretty good. Let's see. You attack with Diamantes first, gets plus 2,000, and then you use Diamantes' effect to switch with Maelstrom, and attack again. And then you attack with this. If they need 10 shield and Maelstrom's zone break, you attack for 26. And if you get a stand trigger, you stand him back up. He gets 16 attack for the 6 damage. That's how the deck works. It's working pretty well. I'm liking it. Can't wait for set 9 for the cross ride. And thanks.